is one of them. One of the things that my daddy taught me was about the gene pool. You wanted to look at the mother of the person that you was trying to date. You wanted to know how they aged. It's a 50-50 gamble, but you do want to know how they age. You want to know if they have a good aging gene in a family history. You wanted to know about the integrity of the hair. It makes a big thing, but to some people, and then to some people it doesn't. Um, Misdirection comes in place where I talk about people presenting themselves. I talked to a good friend of mine, and she gave me a term for that, and she called it catfish dressing. Catfish dressing, meaning people dress themselves up, but underneath they're like a catfish, ugly. So you have people, and that's what I call misdirection. People that dress themselves up to look appealing, but then underneath all of that makeup, underneath all of the facade, they don't care. They're just looking for that time. They're looking for someone to take care of them. They'll present themselves falsely to you, and then they'll change on the other end. And it's something, again, everything that we're throwing out is not stuff that's hardcore. It's not stuff that is fact. It's just our opinion. And everything that I'm giving is, basically my experience. I've been around the world and back when it's dealing with women, and so I'm very experienced in that area. And one of the things that I've learned with looking for a good wife is, you have to be you can't have a list. You have to be willing to give people a chance. You have to have foundation. You have to have a baseline of what your concept of a good wife entails, and then you have to, one of the main things that I would tell people is, going into a relationship, you have to expect change. And when I say expect change is every day you age, every day you wake up, you change. You don't know things about yourself until you get with someone. And that person don't know things about themselves until they get with someone. We did a show a while back where we talked about a little bit, and I was telling the guys about pet peeves. I didn't know that I didn't like people to leave, a big dip out of my rice, fork lines in my butter, use the same spoon for peanut butter and jelly. Those are pet peeves. Those are the things that you don't know that you don't like until somebody else come and invade your space. And so you have to be compromising. You have to learn how to look at people and compromise. You have to be able to talk things over. Mustang said it earlier, you have to have a foundation. And, one of the things I can tell you about a relationship, to me, which is key, is that when you have a relationship and you start off as best friends, when you get married and y'all have a big fallout, big altercation, one of the things you need to do is leave the marriage and go back to friendship, because as friends, y'all was able to converse and talk about what happened, what just went on. Why? Because y'all friends. Y'all don't want to break up that friendship. And then you build your way back up until you get to the marriage section. And then now y'all done got level heads to where y'all can talk about what y'all just did.
Excellent, excellent, excellent points. All of these are just excellent points. I would like for you to circle back to your list. You talked about the outward or external view, which is 95% of what is touted as whether a woman is desirable. So you think about it, most of the people who are popular on Instagram are popular because they have photographs of what they look like. They have photographs of their, Kim Kardashian, I don't think is famous for anything else other than the way she looks. I don't know that she does anything else besides take pictures of herself. So I would like for you to circle back and talk about some of those other things besides the physical that you made mention of in terms of character and characteristics, etc.
Okay, well, I don't want guys to marry for the outer appearance. Let me start there. The outer appearance.
That's what we see. That's what we see, though. Yeah. Guys are visual. Guys love the way a woman looks now.
Right, but outer appearance is not longevity. The outer appearance is not love. The outer appearance is not agape love. You see what I'm saying? The outer appearance is infatuation. It's desiring. Remember, and BA can contest to this. This is what took down the greatest man in the Bible, the outer appearance. So there's a lot of Denali's walking around.
Mm. Mm.
A lot of,
Right.
and the woman's body is very, very seductive in its sensual way. Mustang said it earlier. He grew up, and on his wall he probably had Karma Electric and Tyra Banks. Well, on my wall it was Felicia Rashad and Linda Carter.
Oh.
Linda Carter is still my girl to this day. She has very well.
Wonder Woman.
That was my Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But you have people that a prime example. I was looking at a young lady today that just had a baby. It was an infant baby. And this young lady was very petite. And so I asked one of my good friends, I said, let me ask you a question. She said, go ahead. I said, looking at this young lady who just had a baby. She said, okay. I said, do women get jealous knowing that there are some women that can just have a baby and go right back to their natural shape, and other women have this flab on their belly? She says, sometimes we do get jealous. And I'm saying this to say that sometimes, men, you find that physical body that's banging, that turns other men's head, and it makes you feel good. Men want to feel good with their woman. But then when you produce that seed and that woman body starts to conform and change, are you still attached and walking in upright position with that woman when her body is not the same as it used to be? The dress that was a size 12 has now become a size 13, that now grown up to a 15 and a 16 and an 18 and a 20. Are you still walking proudly with that woman? And so,
Lord help us. Lord help us. Have mercy.
Yeah. So, Mustang said it earlier. Is that woman going to be the woman that's going to get up and pray over your child? Is going to get up and feed that child every day? It's a consistent basis, over and over and over, nonstop for 18, 19, sometimes 20 years, and still have the decency to do that for 18 years while taking care of a husband. And see, this is the things that people don't understand. When you're looking for a good woman, you have to sometimes put away what your eyes want, what the flesh wants, and really sit down and think about it. And we don't ask these questions, well, what do you want out of life? Where do you see yourself? Looking at see how the integrity lies with her, how strong of a woman she is in her teens can determine how strong of a woman she can be in her 50s and her 60s. The work ethic of a woman. You have to understand these things. You have to look at, one of the things that I tell any woman that I go in that I'm in a relationship with is that I am consistent. And what I mean by consistent is that I'm going to keep my body, as long as I'm capable, I'm going to keep my body in a certain frame of weight class. And I expect you to do the same for me. Now, if there's a time and point in your life where you feel like you're just getting to the point where you can't, because I'm telling you that it could lose me. And I know the same thing with you. If I get to a certain size, I can lose you. Why? Because you didn't marry me like this. You married me this way, so it's my job. It's my job to keep myself at the weight and the level that you married me at. You didn't marry someone that became big and oblong. You married someone that was small framed, and that's what you want. So that's what attracted you to me. So that's what I'm going to keep myself looking at, sharp as I possibly can.
Sure.
So to your listeners out there, these are things that y'all have to consider. Now, don't get me wrong. Things change. Medical things happen, where your body is kind of altered. There's some things you just can't get out there and do no more. But I still don't let things become an excuse, because you can still do other things.
You can care for yourself. Yeah. The body is a temple, and you care for it. Mustang, what was your comment? And then...
Oh, no, I like what he's saying. I really want the guys out there to consider what he was saying. Definitely, if you have a spouse, you want to take care of yourself. You before you go out there, to your job, you want to look nice, and you go through all this trouble of putting your suit and your tie on, or whatever it is. Even if you have a work outfit, you go through all this trouble trying to groom and look nice for these people you're going to be with. That you may never see again, customers, clients you may never see again, or or they're not people you love. But yet when, you're around your spouse, then we let ourselves go and we're wearing whatever, you know what I mean? And I like that he brought that up. However, I will say, I don't care how big my wife is. I don't care how big she gets. That doesn't bother me at all. And she will never lose me, ever. Again, because it has nothing to do with that. Now, will that reduce possibly my sex drive if she gains 300 pounds. It might. That might be affected. And
Tell
I
the
agree.
truth.
Yeah, I'm being honest. It's definitely gonna affect me. I mean, we're just being frank. And I love his ideology because I want to bring some of that and say, hey, listen, honey, we did meet each other, about 50 pounds ago, or about 70 pounds ago, whatever the case is. We might want to think about coming back to that size.
Yeah.
However,
we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that actually in the next one of these next shows coming up, because I have a comment about that before we go. But go ahead. I didn't want to cut across. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. Like I said, but I don't want, and I don't know if he may have meant something different, but for me that's not a determining factor of whether we're going to still be married or not. I may have heard that wrong.
No. I think that's exactly. I think his point was that looks will change, and but to do the best you can to try to keep yourself up and be presentable to the one that you love, and it's pretty much the same thought. That's what I gleaned. Nola, is that pretty consistent with your thinking?
Yes, sir. It is. You want to just do the best you can with maintaining the weight. People can't do nothing about their hair. That's just something that can be, a genetic. You can have a genetic where you just start gaining weight, losing weight. There's a lot of different factors out there. But, like I said earlier, people change. Things change. You wake up every day, you change. You may not like the way he snored no more. You may not like the way he tossed and turned in a bed. There's a lot of things that you just get your tolerance level change. So I just want people to understand that when you're looking for a mother, you're looking for someone, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. We don't ask questions. We just look at the physical body and we just go with that and we just fit whatever conversation we have because we just want the body. But we don't ask questions, I
would like to add one final thought as we wrap up for today. This was a very, very good topic. Not only should we look at character more than appearance, looking at the work ethic, I love the notion of checking a work ethic in your potential partner, because there may come a time when you can't work as a man, you can't provide the way that you would like to for whatever reason, illness, circumstance, layoffs, whatever. That can happen. If you have a woman who is not fit to carry the responsibility in your stead, that is a serious red flag. Number 2, ask yourself a very simple question when you're looking at any woman who comes into your space, who's grinning, flapping her eyelashes at you and shaking her hips and things. Ask yourself one question. Would you like for this person to train your daughter to do the same thing? The third thing that you have to ask yourself is, if I was on my dying bed, would I want this person to make a judgment call about my life, my children, my resources? Because this person is the person I trust with everything that I have acquired on earth. Would you have that person sitting in the place to care for you if you were not able to care for yourself? And then the last thing is, does she have a God that she's accountable to? Because if she doesn't have a God who she's accountable to, and she doesn't take that relationship seriously, then chances are she won't take your relationship with her seriously. And the result of that is very, very simple. If she doesn't have a God that she's led by, then she's not going to work in tandem with you. Because if both of you are serving the same God in the same purpose, you'll be headed in the same direction. And the Bible, which I rarely quote on this show, but the Bible does say, how can two walk together lest they be agreed? And you have to be in agreement, and one thing you need to agree on is the God that you serve, so that your lives will be in harmony with each other. This has been Conversations from the Cave. I am your host, Kirk Kennedy. It has been a pleasure having our panel members in studio with us, as they are each and every week. We'll be back next week with another great show. Be sure to subscribe to our channels, as well as check us out on Facebook, Spreaker.com, iTunes, and YouTube. Share our shows with your friends, and join us again next week for another exciting episode of Conversations from the Cave. Bye-bye.
Conversations from the Cave is brought to you by the Alabama Cornea Care Center, Northern Alabama's first irregular cornea, keratoconus, and scleral lens referral center, specializing in the management of degenerative cornea disease and complications resulting from refractive surgery. For more information, you may visit them on the web at alabamacorneacare.com. The Alabama Cornea Care Center, helping patients see the light of the world. Conversations from the Cave is a production of the Provox Media Group. For more information or to share your questions or comments, visit our podcast Facebook page by searching Conversations from the Cave. The views expressed on this program are the personal beliefs of the panelists and do not necessarily represent the beliefs of the Provox Media Group or its sponsors. Join us next time for more real talk from real men. Conversations from the Cave.